De la right, my MVVs, welcome. Elders ran around to, find Igbe and Ebony, going from families to families, trying to find out where they could be. A lot of families, especially from the side of Ebony, were insinuating that Ebony may have flown to the UK. Whether that is true or not, is not something that I know. But they say elders had to make an effort to find them because Ooni of Ife had insisted that he is never going to bind Ogüñjãyi as long as they are out there, because his number one priority is to protect the throne, to protect Olori Naomi and Tadenika, protect Dr. Elizabeth, and protect everyone that is around him. They said the elders were restless and clearly unsettled. What had reached them that Igbe and Ebony were still nowhere to be found, and the Ooni of Ife had made his position very clear. He was not going to bind Ogüñjãyi again. This decision left the elders under serious pressure because they knew what that meant. Without binding Ogüñjãyi, the spiritual consequences of the immunity removal would be in full, effect. And if the women were not found, their situation would only get worse, because Ogüñjãyi being on the loose, it's a very dangerous situation in the palace, and Kabiyesi is using that to ensure that there is peace and nobody goes to carry pots anywhere, to plant anywhere, and to cause problems, not just for him, but for his Oloris. And again, a lot of us, we are only talking about this whole thing as it concerns Olori Naomi and Tadenikawo. They are using this situation to fight Kabiyesi big time. They are fighting Kabiyesi, and Kabiyesi knows, the family knows. Gise family, they know. And that is why you see them, they stood their grounds and they supported Ooni of Ife when he released Ogüñjãyi, because they do know that they cannot do anything. Right now, everybody is scared. People are tiptoeing all over the place. Not like before, where they were emboldened, they would go and carry this one and bury here, carry this one and bury here, under the guise that it's a traditional society. Even traditional societies have their own laws. They preach accountability, they preach equity, they preach justice, they preach fairness, even in traditional society. Why do we even have traditions? It's so that these laws that will, help human live well, people are able to uphold them. So this is what is going on. They said the palace courtyards were unusually busy as small groups of elders and messengers moved in and out, talking in low voices. Everyone was trying to piece together any information on Igbe and Ebony's possible whereabouts. One of the elders who had been in charge of maintaining contact with their families reported that their relatives were also in confusion. They had not seen them and did not know where they had gone to. And that was when one person said that it is looking as though Ebony flew to the UK. But that information has not been substantiated. A lot of them still feel that especially Ebony is right there in Ile-Ife. Some are thinking she is in Lagos, and a vast majority are thinking that she flew to the UK. The Ooni of Ife sat in his private chambers with some senior chief when the matter was raised again. One of the elders pleaded, saying that if Ogüñjãyi was not bound, again the tension in the palace would increase and the women might never return. The Ooni did not hide his frustration. He said plainly that Ogüñjãyi had already been bound once because of them. As in, what that meant was, you remember what he did with Ebony, putting that thing on Ebony with his hands and all of that, so that, this thing will not appear to Ebony again and cause her misery. And so he said he's not going to do it, that thing is let loose. If they go anywhere and they try to do anything again, it will come for them. He told the elders that their time and energy should be used to find the women instead of trying to convince him to go against his decision. And they say part of the reason why Kabiyesi said this is because he knows that some of the elders are, with the Oloris. They know exactly what they are doing. They are trying to buy time, trying to convince Kabiyesi and all of that. The reason why, Igbe came Gospel came to submit herself for immunity removal is because she regrets the fact that when Blow changed her decision and made up her mind to go the right route. If she had followed Blow at the time, she would not be in this situation. And she feels like better now than ever. And again, the reason why they said Gospel submitted herself also is because they said they had also advised Gospel that most times when you show true repentance, there is a possibility that the Ooni of Ife will crown you with immunity again. And so it's better late than never that she should go ahead and show true humility and true repentance. And as you know, Ooni of Ife is a king that is very objective, that judges things by himself. And the man will see true repentance. And should he see true repentance, there is a possibility that he would go ahead and, wear her that immunity again. Meanwhile, some family members of Igbe and Ebony were called into the palace for a separate meeting. They sat with a few elders who explained the urgency of the situation. They were told that if the women wanted to avoid further disgrace, they needed to return immediately and face the removal process openly. One elderly family representative admitted that the women had left in anger and embarrassment after the earlier confrontation, but promised to keep searching for them. They said by late afternoon, a small search team was sent out in different directions of the town lodges and all of that, visiting the homes of close friends and even asking people, as in those who have been very, very close to them. The responses were all the same. Nobody had spotted them in recent days, that is that yesterday and day before yesterday. This deepened the worry because it meant they might have left immediate environment together. Back in the palace, the elders regrouped to update the Ooni of Ife on their effort. He listened but did not change his stance. He reminded them that the immunity removal was not a personal attack but a matter of tradition, and the tradition would not be bent because of fear. He said they had been given enough grace before things reached this point. One of the senior chiefs asked him quietly if he was prepared for the backlash if the women stayed away and spoke publicly against the palace. The Ooni of Ife responded that anyone who spoke against the palace after being given a fair chance to come forward would only expose themselves. He added that he had nothing to hide and the record of their action would speak for itself. As the evening came and some elders sat outside the palace gate discussing what to do next, they knew time was running out. If Igbe and Ebony did not show up soon, the situation would move beyond just a palace matter and could spill into a larger public controversy. One elder suggested reaching out through informal, channels like through their families. But one of the major reasons, a lot of people are saying, one of the major reasons why most of these elders are so interested and trying to get Igbe and Ebony to come for the immunity removal is because of the fear of Ogüñjãyi, because a lot of them knows that their hands are not clean. The thing is that a stray bullet might catch up with them. Yes, so if they do not do anything about it, so they'll have to work against time, try to do everything that's within their power to convince Igbe and Ebony to return back. But we all still know that there are some evil elders in that palace who are backing them. Even Kabiyesi knows, and that is why Kabiyesi is saying they will have to go and renounce his name publicly if they do not return to the palace for that immunity removal. And we are hoping, hopefully today they will return. They will return. No, they have to return for that immunity removal. This is what we are hearing. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.